I'm Ruthie, she, they, and I play Sentinel, she, they.
I'm Will, he, him, and I play Moxie, she, her.
I'm Imi, she, her, and I play Ahmaya, also she, her.
I'm Steve, he, him. I play Ora, he, him.
I'm Sarah, she, her, and I play Freya, she, her.
Hi, I'm Mike, he, him, and I'm playing Eugene Bannatyne, he, him.
I'm Charlie, he, him, and I'm your DM. You approach an area of open sands, and then there's this huge sweeping cliff, and the only way to keep going west is through a tunnel, like a crag and a narrow crag between the cliffs.
I think that's where we're going.
She said avoid the open sands. Stick to places where we can hide away. Looks like we're on track.
Are we gonna get jumped on? Like, is there a way for...
How narrow are we talking? Like 5?
You guys going into it?
Is it like a crevice?
Yes. You guys going into it?
Very warily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to move slowly. So roll perception checks then. Everyone can roll.
No,
I was not paying attention.
Natural 1.
Skill can roll as well.
22.
Natural 1 for... Oh, that's 2.
Anyone else? Anyone else above an 18?
No.
Oh, definitely not.
14.
And would you say that Ansel could be helping me with this?
Yeah.
Cool. Then an 18.
Okay, so the two of you guys, everyone else, it seems peaceful. It seems there's nothing, you're aware of Hazels. But no, as you move through, the narrow crag sort of in places, it gets taller and taller and taller as you go. And some places it really reaches out over and touches the tops to make a cave. And you guys who got an 18, you start seeing the first signs of flora. There's mist cacti that cling to the rock in little green points, spilt aloe vera. You catch glimpses of a lizard, tiny little lizard scrabbling from a skeletal little tree to a shaded rock. And the one thing that you do notice is that there is a cool breeze, very, very faint, coming from the direction that you're walking.
Do I have time to pick some of these? Are there any flowers on?
Yeah, there are some tiny little flowers on the cacti. I think that it might take you 10 minutes.
Oh, never mind then.
But you can have a go if you want.
Is there any of this that I recognise that could be useful from time in the desert?
Use them what sort of sense? Like?
Sort of provide water or...
Oh, nourishment?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We'll roll a survival check. And if you want, you guys will have to wait 10 minutes for more than this, if you're actually going to try and harvest Eugene. What do you want to do?
Well, I would ask everyone if that's okay, because obviously I don't want to waste 10 minutes.
It's only a 6 on survival.
Yeah, so the aloe vera type, the mist cacti, they've got this gel, but it's very bitter, and it's like, well, you're not sure if it's safe to consume or not.
If you want, I can take a sample and try to study it to see if it is useful.
Yeah. I think.
How long have we been travelling?
I'd say a few hours at this point.
We can take a 10-minute
Why don't we take a
in
rest?
the shade.
Well, we're in the shade.
Take a little rest.
Get high on cactus juice.
Yeah, drugs.
Basically just tequila.
Yep.
Oh right, it's gathering.
blue agave.
They call it gathering instead of harvesting.
I'm gonna, when we pause, I'm gonna keep an eye on the asshole.
Okay, yeah. I can't seem to find the quick table, so what I'll get you to do is roll a survival check. Found it.
I'd probably turn to you and say, I seem to notice that you know your way around a kitchen. I know we're not in a kitchen, but you say you know how to cook. Have you ever collected any any herbs or flowers or anything of that sort before?
What I've done.
I'm just trying to say you're proficient in a herbalism kit. I just didn't know how else to say it.
I don't know. I
Do you
mean, I
have a
would have
herbalism
done.
kit?
No, I don't
I've
think
got
so.
one. I'm just not proficient.
I would
with
have
it.
done a lot of that stuff with Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
With Jeffrey.
But
My name is Jeff.
Jeff. But I don't think I'm proficient in anything. I just like would know bits and pieces.
Are you
of that
proficient in survival?
stuff. Yeah, I am.
Then that will be enough for this. It's quite a basic gathering, so
Would you
Charlie
like-
says yes.
Would you like to help me do this?
I'll be like, yeah, but we need to keep it on that dude.
I'm glad you're pointing. Glad you're looking up.
I'm like nodding
really
behind
little.
me, like.
I tell you what, roll a survival check for me now.
That is going to be a 16.
Yeah, you can give him. You can aid in that
Cool.
because you don't have a herbalism kit. It would have been at a disadvantage,
Yeah.
but seeing as your knowledge is there, yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, roll a survival check with advantage.
That's not cocked. So that will be natural 14 for survival. 15.
Nice. Yeah, that is successful. So you start clipping very gingerly at the roots of this cacti. Roll a d100 for me.
One of these has got to work.
Yeah,
I guess
surely.
Get a sample at some point.
Try to find the old D10.
I've managed to get
Do you want
water.
Oh, cool, if you've got it.
Is that a D10?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, nice. 89.
Nice. Okay. You managed to find in this thing a... Oh, where's it gone? So you're picking at this tiny little cacti and here it is. You find a single drop of water that you manage to refine it down to a single drop of water into a little vial, like a jelly drop, and it's completely clear, which is really difficult to achieve. And you've got a common reactive, a reagent.
So one common reagent.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
What's that?
And that is a reactive reagent.
Well, I can potentially use this in a potion.
What would the potion do?
Well, many things really. It depends what we want.
Oh.
But I'll probably need more things to react with this, to create a stable solution.
So you can't eat it?
Well, Eugene probably smiles at this. Like, sometimes I do get that itch to try things I haven't tried before, but I probably, even I would be a little bit, I probably wouldn't try this.
Okay. Fine. And then I turn my attention back to giving Cade evils.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
That's not going to be very good. That is a 9.
I've been distracting you.
Yeah, you can see he's keeping his distance and muttering to himself. It's like he's descended in a sort of petulance at this point.
Well, if you're going to be...
He's right at the back.
No, but
are
I'm
you with him?
thinking... No, I'm just watching him, and if he's being petulant, I'm really thinking well, I can be precipitation too.
That's a big word.
We're suddenly down into the intelligence 4 region. You don't have
You don't have to stick
It's
to
like-
it. I just
it's
thought
like-
it was really funny.
It's like book smarts,
Oh,
right?
I'm enjoying it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
It's
as long as you're
street
enjoying it.
smarts over book smarts.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
It's your wisdomous.
Okay, so you guys move through this this cavernous crag. In places it gets so narrow that you have to go through in single file, really narrow areas, and eventually you make a few turns and you see a light ahead of you, a much brighter light than's been managed to get through the narrow above, and before you there's a small clearing, a flat sand, and ahead of it, stooping over it, is a tower within the cliff face. It's bent and melded with the wavy layers of the rock, made entirely of this strange opalescent glass, but it looks damaged. It looks cloudy. It's cracked in places. There's a spider web of veins with clouded white filling in them. And at the very base of it is a 15-foot glass archway.
Captain,
This looks familiar.
there's your
out.
church.
Oh, he's like, oh, fuck me.
Maybe later. No, I don't.
From my dream.
No, this is, so that archway, I can't remember how, you record it as much higher than this.
Okay.
And where this is like a 15-foot archway, so what, it's like double the height of a big doorway, that was like a very grand thing. And it wasn't damaged, it was beautiful and in pristine condition. And it was this is more like a big doorway.
What's the archway? That's even better.
You guys have arrived at the Nunlakium as Morag. None of you guys speak what I said, what is primordial, but I've changed to Signura, right?
Oh.
So yeah, you don't know what it is. Cool.
I can't believe
Cool.
you made me change.
Cool.
I knew it, and then no, I didn't know.
No, that's right.
We knew it over a year ago, and
So yeah, there's sort of high spirits among the other guys. Lloyd's like eyebrows are up, and Clayton for the first time seems to think, maybe we're in the right place.
How does Cade look?
He is just at the back, continuing to be miserable. Eskiel approaches everyone. He's like, those of us who are going in know who they are. And he sort of glances back at you guys. There's a few less of us now, but it doesn't mean we've got to protect one another outside. The rest of you, set up camp with a few extra precautions, ensure the rations are secure. Enton, but you make sure Enton's protected. After last night, I want to double people on watch as well. I know there's less of us, but we've got to manage. And he comes over to you guys, and he's like, pulls out a torch. He's like, I might be a captain out here, but I'll be following your lead on this one.
Is that wise?
He's like, well, I've never been in one of these before, so.
I don't think any of us have ever been in one of these before.
Well, I'm in tombs, and he walks forward.
I thought you were following ours. Okay, whatever.
I was just thinking, same shit, different hole.
Hey!
It's about mid-afternoon.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, does
let's
it
go.
look, I mean, is it recognizable in any way? If I read or learn about anything similar to this?
You roll a history check. If you're proficient in history, roll a history check.
I got a 12.
I somehow am, but it makes no sense
What?
because I have 0. Do you remember I was telling you that my history...
We've changed it. What did you change it to? We just haven't printed it
didn't.
out yet.
No, we didn't. We spoke about... We need to change that.
So what do you want to change it to? Do you know off the top of your head?
Could I change it to, persuasion?
You're not proficient in persuasion. I thought you said you had that.
No.
Yeah, so that's what it was supposed to be then, isn't it?
Okay, cool.
So yeah, if you're proficient in history, roll history checks. And what did you get?
12.
25.
Okay. So with a 25, I'll start with you actually, Sarah. With a 12, other than the sketch on the velum that Sentinel recreated, no recollection. And with a 25, you've read about the tombs in the desert. There's lots of speculation about, mainly it's all to do with the deep sands. So whenever people talk about the desert and the Hunter-Scavengers, they're talking about the deep sands. And there's lots of speculation about what's buried. The tombs of the Salnari people, the desert people, they built a lot of what they sort of kept their dead in their own rock tombs. And you guys discovered that actually they're also building on top of the glass. In terms of the glass structures in the desert, with a 25, you've probably read stories about it. Nothing in the library in terms of a place of scholars. There are stories of glistening cities, maybe fairies beneath the sands, that kind of stuff. But about glass structures in the desert, nothing from your studies. Well, you did roll really well though. It's speculated that the things beneath the desert were built by an ancient people that were not humanoid and were strange and alien, and that crosses over with some of the stories. Monsters built the place and then they all died off, kind of thing. But that's about it. What are you guys doing?
So I relay that to you.
Eugene,
Yes?
you don't have any paper, do you?
Well, that's a very good point. I don't know if I do actually have any.
Does anyone have any paper?
I can rip a page out of the Book of Confessions.
Is there spare paper in the Prisoner Manifesto of Visitors?
Yeah, there would be. It'd have all like their lines on it, but
I could rip out pages from the spell book. But,
I'm not doing that.
The better the paper, the better. Yeah, that's fine.
It's like velum as well.
So I'll take the paper and I'll go sort of, probably won't matter actually. I'm going to sit down and take off this pentagonal box that hangs from my waist and open it up, and inside you can see a silver compass, but there's no marker, it's just filled with sort of greyish dust. And I'm going to place it in the centre of the piece of paper, and I'm going to spend 2 charges to cast map.
okay.
Oh, you sexy little bastard. Because you know what I was thinking? I was sat there
Just
going,
a
has
bit of
anyone
map.
got any paint? Have we got any paint so that we can just mark where we've been? Map, you sexy little fucker.
So,
I forgive
Sexy
you for
little
leaving my
fucker.
baby sister.
what,
Which
how,
we
how
did not
far was the
discuss.
radius of the map?
Mile.
A mile.
I think it was a
Holy
mile or
shit.
6. I think it's a mile. I haven't got it.
Was it 1,000 feet?
I haven't got it.
A mile. We'll go the
description on
mile.
here.
We'll go the mile.
But I think it was a mile because it was.
We'll give you the benefit of the
My
doubt. It's
brother's
fine.
name.
So
What's this little
for
bastard? A
for
mile?
those watching, he places the compass down, and maybe mutters something, and then the sand seems to start to move like in a breeze, and goes black, and then starts swimming in the compass like ink, and then it splays out from inside the compass across the paper, drawing the map. And what you can see from the mile around you are scant few other crags that move into this area of rock. And what you do see on a small scale is the entrance. You see a circular room ahead of you. You see a single corridor that goes down away to the. So if you guys are facing west, so down south, a corridor, one branches off of this main entryway. There is a hole at the end of it, and then it ends. Ahead of it, you see, this is still very small scale, because obviously it's a mile map. You see a vast open circle with jagged edges, almost like a crater. You would know that the plane that this is taking a slice of is only at your altitude right now. Anything above or below it is not marked on the map. Okay? So you see a vast circle that appears maybe inside the same tomb but detached from that first corridor. And then to the far south, I say far, it's still small scale, you see another handful of rooms on the same altitude as you are now. And that's it.
That's going to be damn handy.
Not handy.
We've got an idea.
Oh.
We've got some idea. Now, turn to Drummond and show him the other crags that lead into this area, so that the others can be aware.
Nice, yeah. It's
entrances.
yeah, it's you from the map. It's clear that there are a couple. They're very narrow though, and at points they really do narrow off, maybe even to less than single file. But yeah, you point them out, and he's like, "All right, I'll let me loop back. I'll let them know, and we'll tell them to keep out." And he does that. Loops back around, tells them, and they start. Lloyd moves over to one side, Clayton the other. They're just sort of patrolling the area. What do you guys do? So you take the compass off, and the map stays as is for.
It lasts for 1 hour. I think it was. You said.
So we should probably get
Copy it
moving.
down.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I'm gonna focus on making the
Focus on like
bit that
inside.
we need.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
And trying to make just extrapolating a little bit so it's not super small scale.
Magnify it. Okay, awesome. Yeah, you success. So I'd say you can spend 10 minutes. The casting is instantaneous, so you take 10 minutes to mark that down, and then you have a piece of paper in your notebook, and everything I described to you is on there in terms of what you think is this slice of this tomb.
Cool.
We should add to it as we go.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, what are you guys doing? You're standing outside at the moment. Just 15-foot archway. It's dark inside.
Can you hear anything?
Make perception checks.
All of us.
No.
All of us.
Yes.
18. Sorry, 17.
17.
Natural 1.
Same!
7.
7.
That's an 8.
Ooh!
What did you get? Sentinel?
Natural one.
Oh. Okay, anyone over 17 you feel... I think it's a couple of you got 17 and above.
Oh, that was a good 20.
You don't hear anything.
Yeah, still 18.
Oh, okay, nice. You don't feel anything. You don't hear anything. You hear maybe an empty sound, a hollow, but you feel a very, very faint. Sorry, a very, very cool, faint but cool breeze coming
was
from
that faint
inside.
but cool?
Inside.
From inside.
Alright.
Let's light up. Sword.
420 please it. Just do this
light
whole
up the
thing
sword.
stoned out of our gourds.
Yeah.
Pass me that cactus juice.
And just Drummond fucked off because he was like,
No, he's with
okay.
you. He's come back.
He started going and was like, what?
Nope.
Okay, so do we know at all what we're looking for? Just stuff. Just stuff.
I think let's start with an hour in. See how because what time is it? Like
It's mid-afternoon.
Mid-afternoon. Let's go an hour in, see what we find. If it looks exciting and we feel comfortable, let's go another. Let's mark it by hours, and then we know we can come back.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we hit somewhere where it's gonna either be like a jump, or we fall, or it gets more challenging, then we can make a decision there and then as to whether or not we come straight back out and prepare for it for the next day. Because I know some of you spellcasters can do that shit. Or we can just push on, because I think we're all feeling pretty good, because we had a good rest. So let's do that,
All right.
if you're happy with that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Sick.
Okay.
1 hour forward, please, sir.
You guys enter.
Stealthily.
Oh yeah,
Stealthily.
stealthily. Yes.
Roll stealth checks for those of you being stealthy. Anyone in heavy armor is at a disadvantage.
5. Can I bug you for the description of the layout?
Oh,
I just
what
want to have
the
a quick
fuck?
doodle.
Yeah, so
A circular room.
ahead of you is a circular room.
Yeah.
To the south is one corridor coming off of it, and that ends in a small circle, same sort of size as the corridor's width. And then a little bit further south of that is a very large, sort of jagged circle
Sounds like a boss room.
that looks like it might be like a crater or something. And then I'd say a little bit, and then south.
There's a bunch of rooms.
Not south, am I thinking of? Either west.
No,
Wait,
the east
you have
shred of
this?
wheat.
Yeah. Southeast of the big crater is a small corridor in a room, maybe a couple of rooms. Sorry,
That's that piece of crazy.
and that's it.
Not that way.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, I was just.
It looks like a guy wearing a fur coat with a mushroom on his head and one wooden leg.
That's exactly what it looks like. Looking at the map, that is exactly what it looks like.
Eugene giggles at
Emphasis on the mushroom. Okay. So you guys enter. You're immediately struck with how cool it is.
Oh, this is so cool. I love it.
And also there's moisture in the air. It's pleasant. It almost smells a little bit damp, which is something that has not happened, like an experience you haven't had for weeks. Even the sort of smell of like fresh vegetation, very faintly. And as you enter this circular room, the archway is not particularly deep. You hear the sounds of dripping water. And you enter, for those of you who haven't got dark vision, has everyone got dark vision?
Yeah.
I have,
I
but
do.
I lit up the sword as
Okay,
well.
cool.
So it's
35
bright light
light.
for 30 and then dim light for 30.
Perfect. So you enter the circular chamber, and light is beaming off of Ora's sword, illuminating the way. And you see this place is actually made of a familiar grey stone, the granite rock that you've seen in many of the Salnari tombs. Directly ahead of you, I said to the south of you, is a doorway made of granite. There is a circle on the ground drawn from where that door is to about halfway into the chamber. And then that stone is smaller than this one is darker than the rest of the room. On each of the walls around you, there are carvings. And what are you guys doing? You just entered this room. There seems to be...
Around.
Yeah.
Okay, so just roll me some perception checks.
But do you want our stealth checks first?
Yes, sorry.
Well, it's a 5, so I've clanked in there. So.
That's what I heard is 5, and then I forgot to ask the rest.
Oh, I suppose it doesn't matter really if there's a 5.
Mine's 16.
I might outweigh it, 9.
17.
Okay,
18.
I think mine was 7.
roll again. Just one dice.
Oh, that's now 11.
Okay. Aura makes a bit of a noise, maybe a bit of armor knocking on one of the glass bits of the archway, but nothing seems to react to your presence immediately. And yeah, give me some perception checks.
Ooh,
Not bad, not bad.
17.
15.
11.
Big old 5.
18.
18 as well.
Okay, everyone above a 12. You see there's potentially something written on the door, the granite doorway. You can't see it at this distance. But you do see that on the walls at 4 symmetrical points are small carved troughs, about 20 feet up. And from each one a drop of water falls into a shallow pool, no more than half an inch deep. And it goes drip, 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 drip.
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
Write it down. Drip,
Is it a
drip,
deliberate,
drip,
is
drip,
it a
drip.
deliberate pattern?
Maybe.
He
Do
said
they-
it, so...
Do the
Drip,
the
drip,
4
drip.
points where these troughs are they like at compass point?
No, they're actually opposite. So if the doorway that you know is facing south,
Yeah.
then they're squared to that. So one of them's facing south, west, southeast, and so on.
I'll point them out to everyone. And Eugene, that looked like writing over the door to you.
I know, does it look like writing over the door to me?
Yeah, if you
I
go,
didn't
You rolled
notice
high.
that.
if you rolled over
Yeah.
12, you saw it, but it's too. At the moment, you need to move closer to see it.
Yeah, I'll have a look at it.
I will
Circle.
follow.
The circle on the ground, does it look like a ritual? Magic type situation?
The ritual?
So with the circle, sort of the edge of which starting at the door and it comes out and round, it's darker, but it doesn't appear that there's any inscriptions that are obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you were closer, you might be able to see, but it just looks like a darker almost a painted circle.
Okay.
Okay, those two of you are walking to the door. You see the inscription on the doorway in Old Common, which
Okay.
is
Ye oldie common.
Ye
Yes.
Olde Common.
Just lots of E's on the end of shit.
Yeah. And it says, "Speaketh mine own name, and I am broken, and only unbroken may I enter."
My unknown name.
Speaketh my own name,
Oh, own name.
and I am broken. And only unbroken may I enter.
It's a riddle.
Sounds like silence.
So basically,
It was only unbroken I can enter.
so who broke its name?
Eskiel was walking around with his torch and like,
Literal.
I want to look at some of the carvings on the wall before we deal with that. Well, we can think about that, but I'm giving us time to think about it by looking at the carvings on the wall.
This is taking up Amaya's full attention now. She's like,
Yeah, I'm stood there as well.
huh?
or reading it.
Yeah, just trying to think through
Trying
the riddle.
Am I just trying to
talking
read
Amaya.
it?
The rest of the room is, you take a minute to look round. It's there's no other writing, which sometimes you see when you've got tombs with the plinths of people who are buried, Salnari people. They will often have little inscriptions, but it's a relatively bland room compared to the grandness of the archway that was still in the ethereal glass. Apart from the troughs, there's a little bit of finesse about the carving. They're in in lizard shapes around the troughs, but other than that, it's just the doorway, the dark circle at the door, and the 4 troughs of water.
So what if you speak someone else's name? Or
We're still by the door, aren't we?
what is it?
Amaya, say someone else's name.
Someone else's name.
Wow.
Is there a god usually associated with silence or anything like that?
Roll a religion check.
I would know.
I mean, that's
I might
not-
know if you say it out loud.
Is there a god that is associated with silence? To be honest, I probably would ask the cleric.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a 19 plus 2.
Oh,
Nice.
You're probably going to do better than me. Oh,
What did you get?
20, but not natural.
Okay.
If it's, well, what would it be?
You-
Religion.
Yes.
Yeah, 20, not natural.
You
21.
would think. Okay, nice. You would think. Nothing comes to mind. There's no god of silence, for example.
Seems like an oversight.
There's so many. How can there not be?
But there is. It could be the Lord of Wisdom, which is known as the Reclusive Chorus that I told you about earlier. They deal on the edge of things. They keep themselves. They gather information, and then they don't talk to anyone else. The other one could be with a 21, Geish, which is the chorus. There's the Dusk Chorus. The symbol is a single line, which is thought to denote silence, but their practicing is not to do with silence. It's more about a sort of tenet that they uphold as opposed to. Yeah.
This might be pushing it, but can I roll some form of intelligence check to try to ascertain what the riddle wants us to do?
Roll an intelligence check.
I'd offer to help.
That's a 2.
Maybe you
So
should
you have
help.
like 6.
A 6. So what I will do is I'll read this to you guys in normal English, just so you're completely clear, because you're looking at it for a while, and I think that's fair. So not in common, it would be, speak my name, and I am broken. Only unbroken may I enter. What?
No.
What's
I
that?
don't know. I'm just. Well, what would be the name?
Is the name in 2 halves, so you just have to say it run together?
There's a door. Is there actually a door that's closed?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Question.
Just like-
Just got
No, we could have just got in.
How old is the silent refrain as a
Very old, so pretty much as old as the choruses have been around. It was made. You would know it was made by the choruses themselves, obviously, as a secret language. But in terms of dating this place and the Salnari people, You know that the choruses were established. Tell you what, roll a history check.
History.
Okay. 19.
Okay, so the empire, when the choruses were formed, was known as the Basilman Empire before it split to become the Isildian Empire and the Vidaean Empire. And the Isildian, that happened about 1,000 years ago. But the war sort of waged for a few hundred years. A lot of information was lost. The silent refrain was what predated Isildia, so it would have been over 1,000 years. So it's very possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to try it. I want to stand in front of the door in a circle, and I want to sign out my own name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to try both the reclusive and Geish
Okay.
gods.
So for those of you watching, you see Freya making hand gestures at the door. Complicated hand gestures.
The gestures don't mean anything to me, do they?
No.
Just trying to think if there's any similarity of that language.
What language are you referring to, sorry?
The one that the guild uses.
It reminds you of it, but it's not that
Okay,
language.
fair enough.
That one was, I can't really say openly, but yeah, it reminds you of it, but this seems much more, it's fast, it's like it's a signing language.
Fair enough, it was only on the off chance.
You wait for a moment, and you say your own name, you sign your own name, nothing happens. And you sign the reclusive chorus, nothing happens. And what did you do as third?
Geish?
Nothing happens.
Amaya's just going to go up to the door and just try and push it open.
Roll a strength check.
We haven't tried
Yes.
that. What have we tried?
If in doubt.
That is going to be a... strength. 19.
You give it a lot, and it is absolutely solid.
It's definitely locked, guys. Definitely locked.
I'm sort of there, kind of not really doing anything. I'm just putting my hands on the door.
What's your passive perception?
Me?
Yeah.
13.
It seems quiet when you're pushing it.
Well, yeah, it's locked.
No, more quiet. Like you move over to it and you start pushing it, and it's very quiet. Just quieter. But that's it.
Wait, I'm going to take a few steps back then.
Nothing.
No, does it sound loud? Like what? Like...
Yeah, that sense of it being quiet goes.
And then I'm going to walk closer to it again.
Yeah, maybe ever so slightly.
Guys, it seems quieter when you go here, and then you come back and it's less quiet. And then you go there and it's quiet.
Can we reach the dripping troughs?
They're 20 feet high.
So no.
I got this.
But you can, but they're dripping into pools at your feet.
So if we put, if I put like a bit of fabric underneath it, would it stop, make it go quiet?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Try it. You can try.
Can
it
I try that?
if you like? Yeah.
Yes, please.
You have fabric.
I'll just rip them. Oh, well, yeah, I've got. Actually, we had.
Maybe if you catch using hands, you probably won't.
Yeah, I'll just start with my hands. Doesn't make any noise. Well, I
It
suppose.
goes drip, 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 and you're catching the fourth.
Right, everyone. Well, I need people at all of the troughs, and then shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm just going to use my hands, cut my hand.
Okay, and so you're going to all four. Is that what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Because I'm broken, I can enter in a unbroken silence.
Askiel's watching like,
drops.
what the fuck are you? All right. And looks around at you. Each of you catching this icy cold water, and for a moment, it's quiet, completely quiet. And then a moment later,
I'm really hungry.
it's so good.
Amazing.
And Freya's tummy makes a noise, and silence is broken for a moment. You guys have a giggle, and then you catch the water again, and a beat of pure silence passes, at which point the stone of the door opens completely silently.
Yeah.
It seems like it's grinding and it should make a noise, but it doesn't. It reveals a narrow corridor that burrows deep into this place, and then it struggles to finish opening, and without noise, it stops halfway. Big enough for you to travel through, but it seems to have been stuck.
Are there any like rocks or big sticks?
Yeah, is this going to be a problem coming back? Or will we get trapped?
Probably. There's things that have blown in.
I'd like to like pick up some like rocks to like wedge it where it is.
Okay, are you doing it on your own?
I mean, I can.
Okay, so
I'll
yeah.
help her if I see what she's doing.
Why don't we just put
I was
some fabric
considering-
on all the water drops and it will be completely silent and the
I was
door won't
considering
open?
channeling my crowbar in there, but I want that for later.
Yeah, what are you guys going to do?
I'll just help Amaya with rocks.
The
Yeah, we're
troughs
gonna do
and
the rocks.
You can't move the troughs. Don't move.
No, they're like in the wall.
Is there a hole we can bung up or anything?
Well, no, if
20
we just
feet
put,
up.
if we just
I got
put
a mage hand.
You can do that if you like.
I think you've got a point. Like, if we just make it, if we put fabric underneath them over the pools, then they won't.
If you do both, then it's double.
Double chance. We got head coverings from Port Lorena. So we've got at least 2 that we probably aren't
I've got-
piecing that we aren't using.
Yeah.
I've got a bedroll.
Okay, yeah.
Cheers.
I'd say together, and it takes you a few minutes to make it so that there is absolutely no noise, not even the sound of it hitting fabric. So you angle the fabric in certain ways, so it just goes, slides down, and after 10 minutes or so, you manage to do that. You also, you can place some rocks in the way in case the door does shut, and you think maybe it would give you a little bit of leverage room. It won't shut completely if it was to close. And yeah, then you guys are free. It's completely silent. The door is half open.
Should we go and... I want to go see what's holding, what the door's catching on, if anything.
Yeah. You can inspect the door if you like. I'll give you an investigation check. What are the rest of you guys doing? You just waiting, or?
It's 18.
The seam where it comes from is very narrow. You can't see down into the mechanism. It does look very old though. It could just be that something's failed deep in the door.
Okay. Cool. We happy to move on? If we've got a...
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
What about the sword with the light on it?
Yeah. As you take your first step into and you would have noticed this, it's completely silent. And on the floor in front of you is inscribed in the tiles, engraved into it, is "Be silent, or they shall seeketh thee."
Oh, cool.
You've done this on purpose, so we can't do any stupid.
It's going to be great. You guys can't talk.
Well, we can't do any spells either.
That's the silent.
We can't do anything. How do our feet make loads and loads of noise, or is it quiet enough walking around the room that we've started in? Are we quiet enough?
In the chamber?
Yeah, because I don't want to walk into the room that we're going to go in and it be like clank, 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 clank.
Well, I mean, you guys can try and be silent, but
Yeah.
when you're in the corridor, like you have stepped through to examine the door and read the inscription, there is no noise. Your feet make no noise.
Okay.
As in, it's a feature of the room that it makes no noise.
Maybe.
So if we try to whisper to one another, does any noise?
Have you moved into the corridor?
I don't think he would.
I'm going to try this theory on the circle outside.
Mm-hmm.
When you step in and out of the circle.
The circle, I will say, is the same colour as the floor in the corridor. But through experimenting, you notice that the silence itself, it seems to emanate just ever so slightly through the door, but not the entirety of that circle. So what Amaya would have heard would be the edges of it. And when you go in, it's deadly silent.
I would like to ritual cast detect magic outside
You
the...
beat me
Okay.
to it.
Hey!
Nice. So yeah, I mean, you could do that while they're doing the rest of the cloths and that sort of stuff. You ritual cast detect magic, and what's the range on that?
Self 30 feet.
Okay, so where is that? All right, okay. So about at the very edge of your vision, you see maybe it's in the corridor, all the way down the corridor. This thing's about 10 feet wide. You see a tiny glowing dot, very, very bright, in your detect magic, and it is enchantment, and it seems to be on the wall, and it is blindingly bright at the moment you finish casting it. It's like someone's poked a pinprick in your vision. It's that bright.
Of course, I've got that on me for the next 10 minutes.
It's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you'd probably see, just wafts of the silence in the air.
Wafts of silence.
My dad thinks.
Quote.
Yeah, this corridor has been enchanted, guys. With enchantment magic.
Do we hear her say that?
You in the corridor?
Are you in the corridor?
No,
Or
you were
outside?
in the chamber.
We've not. I don't think we've gone in yet.
No. You can hear it just fine out here.
Alright, if you stand in the corridor,
But the more that you talk, the door starts trying to shut. So every time you do that, it's like you see it shuddering.
I look for Moxie.
Great
I
for
look-
podcasting.
I didn't expect you to stay in the same.
I look to Moxie and is Ansel there?
I guess, yeah, he's
I
here.
just sort of point to Ansel and just sort of raise my eyebrows.
Yeah, I can.
What are you gonna do to me?
I'm gonna take the light off of the sword and boop him on the tail and light up his tail.
Yeah, his tail lights up. So the sword goes dim, and his tail, like a little firefly, there's a little glowy end on his tail.
Well, yeah, do you want to send a cat? Do you want to send Ansel ahead, guys? They're not in the room.
I'm just watching the door.
It's trying to shut.
Yeah, you can. Then you tell me what you're going to do. What Ansel does.
Yeah, so I walk into him, so I see through his eyes, and then he sort of pads through.
Yeah, he pads down the corridor. It's
Pad.
pad. No, it's absolutely silent at the moment. He goes in, no noise, his feet whatsoever, and the floor is this same dark stone. He walks over the words about being silent, or they shall taketh thee. Seeketh thee. He moves along the corridor for 20 feet. Your detect magic, it doesn't work through his eyes, does it?
No, it's just self.
So where the point was, you look up and you can see there's some inscriptions on the wall, maybe something in the wall that is up at sort of a head height for a human, so it's out of his reach. And right at the end of the corridor, 30 feet in, is a hole in the floor and a chain that descends down.
the quietest of...
Quietest of all.
Nice rusted chain.
Yeah, I mean, can we look down the hole?
Yeah, he can. There's some light down there. He sees like about wait, how far down did I say? It's about 20 feet down. He can see the floor, and there is some dim light down there.
Bit far for him to just jump down.
Yeah, that's a dead cat. That's a squish cat.
There's a minimum of 2 damage.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright. I'm gonna...
I'm gonna come out of his vision while he's still there.
Yeah, he's
I'm
in.
gonna silently go in. Silent. So silent. So silent. And because I want to read what's on the inscription then there.
On the floor.
No, the one.
Oh, the one at the end of the corridor. Okay. What is everyone else doing?
I'm going to follow.
Yeah,
Follow
go.
Okay, Sentinel first. Amaya, Ora.
Tempted to... Okay, do we think...
A bit. No.
I'm just wondering how much I can ask you guys stuff. Yeah, do you think it's the corridor itself that makes things quiet, or we can make noise still in it? We don't know that yet.
That's what I wanted to go and find out.
I was just considering taking shoes off.
Well, no, because the feet didn't make any noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you went in, you had that yourself, Sentinel. You walked in and your feet went on. Your footsteps were completely inaudible.
I'm gonna go like, so it sounds like a nature sound, like a...
Oh.
And see if I hear that.
In there, when you're in the corridor, you make a sort of wind blowing sound as though you're making it in your mouth.
Yeah, but like quietly.
You don't hear anything.
Like at all.
Nope. And you realise you can't hear in breath. Yeah, you can't. No voice.
Great for a podcast.
What does it? I want to walk down. What does it say on the thing?
Yeah. Where are you with Moxie? Because you had the.
Yeah, I'm with
You're together, right? So you reach the point that is glowing, and with Sentinel you see there's some inscriptions. So it's a pattern etched into the wall. They're in interlocking circles.
How many interlocking circles?
There are 3, and they are the circles themselves are made of intricate sigils, and right in the center. For you, Sentinel, you see a stained pebble or something, very center of this inscription, right in the center of the central circle. And then to Moxie, this thing is so bright you can't even look at it. And directly right next to you is the circle that goes down with the chain.
Right, this is so the like the really bright bit
It's on the wall next to you.
is on the wall, yeah.
And then the floor at the end of the corridor is the circle that goes down, the hole that goes down.
Is there anything around the circle that could tie a rope to?
Around the hole,
Yeah, sort of around
the chain comes from the ceiling down, and it descends down into the hole. But there's not really anything other than the
It's
chain.
just flat stone walls.
Yeah. You could tie it to the chain, but
That's still going to be
It's
noisy.
just a chain.
What?
I can go down. Someone holds the other end of the rope.
I'll hold it. Amaya, do you want to?
you guys can't hear
Yeah.
anything in here. You're not able to
Yeah.
talk.
I'll
That's-
just.
I
That's
probably
what's
would have
the-
I probably would have gotten the rope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
hold it and look to Amaya to hold as well.
This is frustrating Amaya because she's just realised something, but she can't say it.
Okay.
Or you can signal and be like,
Use a
and like
medium
go
of
back.
dance.
Well, no, she can't really mind this.
But we could nose and like go back and we can
Oh.
talk.
What are you doing? Describe to us what you're doing.
She's like trying to be like, I have an idea, let's go back out there so we can speak.
Okay, before we jump in, then we'll go and do that.
Who's going back and who's
I'll go
staying?
back
I'll
because
go
I
back.
didn't go down the corridor yet.
Okay, so Freya's back.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but
Okay,
we're all
and
going
Eugene,
back.
everyone's going back.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go back. You go back to
Unless
the
you don't
entrance
want
where
to,
you
you
can
can
talk.
stay there if you want. Sorry.
I don't
Okay.
know, I might stay. I'll stay there. With
You know,
I
message.
have message. Yeah,
Do you
but
need to talk?
Yeah, you do.
yeah, you need to talk for message. Yeah.
I'll stay and I'll examine the circles.
Okay. Am I?
So, is the corridor enchanted to make sure you safely get through it so that the things don't find you?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
So we're safe.
I'd rather like keep quiet, but yeah, probably.
Okay.
It depends how far that, the protection goes though.
Well, we'll know straight away.
No.
It's an inspiration.
Ooh, thanks.
I'm not sure if it's D6 or D20. I can't remember.
Would you like to give me a
D6.
dice that does
Depends
not
how
look like
you
one of my own
depends how you
dice?
want to do it. You can do it as a roll with advantage if you want.
Okay, yeah, that's your inspiration marker. So you get to roll. You have one roll with advantage.
Okay. Would you like to give me a dice that I don't already have?
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise I'll be like, why do
here
I
you
have
go.
two of these?
Just take D20.
Thank you.
Congrats, because that was a nice little deduction there.
Thanks.
You're smart.
Wisdomous.
Yeah.
I'm wisdomous. That came from my wiseness. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. In that case,
Someone has
Stop,
been
stop,
through
stop.
here and made it safe.
That's it.
It's nice of them.
Okay,
Which
Ora.
was when was that done?
Roll. Are you inspecting it?
That's all I've got.
Yeah.
Roll an Arcana check.
Natural 1.
Hey!
Nice.
Yeah.
Some words, man. They're not even words, they're just sigils.
Now that Emma said that, can I look around to see if there's any like evidence of someone being there recently? Or if it's super old?
Roll an investigation check.
While Freya's doing that, it's highly unlikely. But you know where there were the sigils and stuff?
The silent end of the corridor.
Yeah. Would I recognise, like, is there anything that is vaguely familiar to me? Probably not.
Roll an Arcana check, and what did
19.
19. This corridor, although there's
Natural 20, but I've got -2.
It's 18, nice. Although the corridor isn't thick with dust, there's nothing in here to sort of shed anything. There's no sand. There's very little. But what you do notice is that you have each made footprints in sort of a very faint layer of dust. It suggests that no one has been here in a long, long time.
Okay.
And 18 on an Arcana check. You remember from back home when you would go into the capital city when you were a girl, and your father, who worked for the government, would look after. And I don't want to give too much away. So he was on business, and you remember seeing these sigils around the places that would make the swords, but without any training in it. It reminds you of that memory of a funny language that you remember, and that people will seem to obsess over it in a strange way, and they would hold these squiggles with such reverie.
If I see her looking at it, can I take the piece of paper that has the map on it and turn it over and try and copy them down?
You could take a stone rubbing or something.
Yeah, take half.
I think if you were trying to, because they're in the wall,
I'll do that then.
Actually copying them would take a long time.
Yeah.
You can do either. It's up to you.
Are we
Yeah,
all
I'll
over
just
there
take a
now?
rubbing of it.
Yeah, okay. But you guys, it is a 10-foot wide thing. So who's there at the moment? Aura's taking a rubbing.
Aura stayed.
Moxie stayed.
Yeah. So
Moxie stayed.
are you gonna intricately write out, or are you gonna take the rubbing? The rubbing will be quicker, but it will be less accurate.
I'll take the rubbing.
Okay. Yeah. You.
Oh wait, if you're taking a rubbing, you're scribbling all over the map. You need new paper.
No, it's back of the map. And Sentinel's copied the map onto something
I've
else.
already copied the map anyway.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You take a rubbing. Roll a sleight of hand check.
11.
Yeah, it's a serviceable representation, and as someone who's not a fae in that language, I think it's going to do the job. I haven't spoken to Freya for a while.
Sorry.
Sorry?
Well, I'm from the city, so do I recognise them?
Roll. Have you rolled Arcana yet? I've asked
No,
them.
I'm not.
Roll an Arcana check, please.
Please be okay. 13. Still close.
You recognise this. You recognise this from something that you would have seen on the analyst, but this seems basic. Seems a little bit less intricate than that, because the languages that we used on the analyst were just incredibly complex, whereas this is more these three rings interlocking made of the sigils, and in the center is this sooty pebble.
Just like the same. I was going to say technology. It's just like 3 circles. So it's not
Yeah,
really-
you could deduct that, but maybe it's a bit more of a sort of a more primitive.
Right. Cool. If we're assuming this is now magical silence, I don't trust it to go as far as the chain, so I would still like to use a rope.
Okay.
But if we're assuming magical silence, can we? Because hang on, let me double check what the word is, because I asked this in like every single session. Yes! Haha! I'm going to use my pitten.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
In all the sessions, like in the 2 prequel sessions, there is a clip of me going, but what is a pitten? I don't understand.
It's an ice
Now
pick,
it's one
right?
list.
It's a pitten is a steel spike with an eye through it, which you can loop a rope.
Yeah.
So I would like to
Awesome.
get a beefy boy.
So yeah, you give her a hand. Someone can give you a hand, I guess.
Getting that in there if we're assuming that it is.
Who's giving Sentinel a hand?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Do we see like where the crater is, or does like it's on this same level?
So if you were like looking, if you're standing in the corridor with the walls ahead of you, with the walls either side, hole in the floor ahead of you,
Yeah.
on the map, the crater is
beyond that,
ahead,
but
somewhere
the
over there.
room ends at this hole, so we've got to go.
Yeah.
So
there's no corridor beyond this on the map.
Okay, so we've got to go down to come back up.
So,
Yeah. Silently, you both bang in the pitten into the floor, cracks the floor, completely silently, and then
loop some rope, hempen.
Did you roll for that?
No,
The pitten.
no.
Give you 10. That's fine. You loop the rope through successfully.
Oh, as in like roll how many I had?
No, it's the strength check. But if you're going to take a few minutes, it's fine. You're not rushing.
Yeah.
You make it. You throw the rope down. Everything has made no noise.
Can I just ask, would Ahmaya either like know this or have like, would she maybe think that those sigils are something potentially connected to the storms?
What storms?
The storms.
The dry storm, or the storms from your home?
Yeah. Or are they to do with who's in power?
Roll a history check.
Brilliant. That's a 9.
You remember from home the storms are something that the Opari have to deal with every few months, but like to the point where they've adapted their homes and they're living, right? Nothing particularly links the idea of the storms with these sigils. You remember them being associated with like your trips to the city where they would forge the service blades, but you don't remember any connection with the sigils to the storm.
Okay.
But you never know.
Or the ruling people.
What, the sigils?
Yeah.
They definitely lorded over them. It was part of the power of the Opari was in their weapons, and that you remember them having a part to play in that. Cool.
I'm rappelling down a wall.
Okay.
Bye.
Acrobatics or athletics check, please.
That will be an acrobatics. Thank you very much. Now, this is someone who hasn't fucked me. Hey, 18.
You make easy work of it. You rappel down. You go down 20 feet. No noise. Your legs dangle over the hole. No noise. And then you go. How long was the rope?
50.
So it's coiling on the floor. So
Yeah.
you make your way down, and only when your head goes below the hole, you hear of the wind, and you land. You hear your feet, but it's you can hear again now. Sorry, you're quiet, but you can hear again.
Okay. Can they see me from where I am?
Yes, so as you look out, there is a balcony, almost like a. You land on this floor. It's a newer looking stone than it was in the chamber upstairs. Ahead of you is a wooden railing that looks out over an open space. The light is coming from that opening. It's like it's almost like there's a balcony, and the light is really beaming in from there, and it's got the same ethereal glow that you recognise from the glass. And there is an old bow and arrows up against the railing, looking out over the balcony.
Bullshit.
Loots. What's your passive perception?
11, I think.
Yeah. As you turn, you take a quick look around. you turn back to look up the tunnel, and on the wall next to you, as you look back, in white, hastily painted words that's cracked and faded, it says, "Do not stray down the tunnels."
Yeah, quick question. That like the little pebble, which is that like is it actually like a thing that's like just loose in the wall that could be?
It looks like there's an inlet, like a little carving, a gap for it, and it's been placed in there.
Yeah, that's a thing that is blinding bright with
Yes.
magic.
The rest has a faint glow, but that's
I'm like, take
Before
it.
you, because I was going to have a quick look as well. So whilst Moxie's there, can I just have a quick look and ascertain if I recognise any of the...
The writing is sigillism. It is a primitive form of the language that you use.
Cool.
And that you know that other guilds use, such as the Artificers.
Yeah. I assume just one double check.
If it's
Do we
Not
think
making
we
your
can-
offer there?
No. Do you think we can almost make a primitive version of this?
I think we just take the one that's in the wall, just bring it up with us.
I was gonna say if it's a primitive language that you already can read, can you read it?
You would know that you would not be able to make this.
Yeah.
This is, as much as it's primitive, it's high level artificing.
I'm hanging out downstairs, and I'd probably kind of sound like a.
But like, just to answer your question, it is just in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick it up and
Okay.
touch it.
He said it. Okay, when you touch it,
Oh my
Fucking
god!
corridor quiet.
you reach out, slender little hand. It's cool.
It
And
is
it's quite in there, but there is a little wiggle to it. It's
I
not.
can't
Do we
see
notice
this.
him doing that?
Depends if she's doing it.
I'm watching Sentinel down there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I am there.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this stealthily.
Okay. Depends on how everyone else reacts.
I would like to then get down the hole.
Okay. So
Because
you're
if
going
it suddenly
down.
goes loud up there, I want to down.
You're going down. Anyone else going down?
I'm just holding the rope. I'm
Okay.
just waiting
Roll
for everyone else.
either acrobatics
Go
or
first.
athletics. And Moxie, if you're going to try and get it out,
Yeah.
give me a
I would sort of
I
look
wanna
and
know
shake
what's
my
happening.
head.
give me a
9.
strength check.
Oh
A
no!
9. Okay, you've rolled a 9 to go down, so we'll hold on. As you go down, you give it a little bit too much, and the piton goes. You slip and you hold and you got your grip. It burns as you slow yourself down, and you look down. And as you look down, a coin has fallen out of your pocket, and it's just tumbling.
Can I try and catch it?
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Don't fuck me. No! Yes! It's an actual 20.
Nice.
I mean, I rolled it onto the dice because I panicked, but
So
it
you-
is.
So Amaya, you look down and you see the copper glint of this coin, and you reach out with another hand to grab it, and it's out of your reach. And as it tumbles, you just see this this quick blur snatch, and she looks up like that.
Money.
And you make your way down, and as you go past the ceiling, you can hear the sound of the wind and Sentinel's heavy breathing.
I'm like,
And Moxie, roll me a strength check, please.
You do see me shake my head though, but you're doing it, so go for
Are you
it.
doing it with your hands?
Have you got
I said yeah. I said yes before. Yeah.
That's fine.
No, Dorian's like, hell yeah.
Come to heaven with me.
Can I try
It's
and stop her?
It's only a 7.
Can I put my hand on? Oh,
She'd already rolled.
It's fine.
Silently, Freya's like, no. And then, what did you roll?
You 7.
Okay, as you
Strength.
put this thing, just for context, let me just get it up.
Shit myself.
This is a soot-stained, jaggedy pebble, no more than a few millimeters across. And as you pull it out, it just goes, you don't hear it, but you feel it go ting. It comes loose.
you feel it
It's
go
very
ting.
delicate.
Is it still glowing?
Once you remove it, all of the light fades.
Okay, I immediately put it back in.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So actually, no, you continue. Yeah.
All the light fades, and you hear the sounds of people again around you, just
I
breathing.
immediately put it back in.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing happens. As in, you put it back in and it starts working again, and nothing else happens around you. And you guys downstairs, no change.
Okay.
We're the smart ones.
What are you gonna do? You look.
Can we hear noise again?
No,
Or is
she's put it back in.
Was there any noise in the brief period when?
No.
Okay, cool.
Just the wind.
That answers my question.
Okay.
It's not portable.
There's
It's portable silence.
you notice you can see the lights spinning back up. Probably your detect magic is about to fade at this point.
10 minutes.
The sigils spin back up and it begins glowing again. And as your magic vision fades, you can see that your fingerprints on the pebble reveal that it is in fact made of crystal.
While we've got
covered.
silence, I would like to take my hammer and adjust the piston. And
Or make it a bit more solid.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. That's fine. Give
do
you
you
a few
need a
minutes.
strength on it?
Yeah, you can if you like.
It's 14.
No, nice. You get the crowbar, bangs it in a few more times.
Well, I've got a hammer.
Oh, have you? Nice. Perfect. Oh, yeah, of course you do,
Had
yeah.
a hammer.
Yeah.
Slightly more if a hammer gives you advantage, but
Yeah. That's it.
Do I recognise the crossbows or anything like that? Like,
The bow and arrow. It looks very old. It's made of wood. It's very simple.
so there's nothing familiar down here.
No.
Okay.
What are the rest of you guys doing? There's a few of you still up top.
Gotta go down.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for all of them to go down, then I'll go down last.
Okay. I'm just going to make Roxy roll, because you were holding it, roll an Arcana check for me. And did anyone else take a very close look at this thing?
I was with.
Yeah, we were both.
I did at
Well,
the
yeah, the three of
start.
us.
You two as well roll an Arcana check.
Me?
Yes.
The 22.
God, natural one again.
Unlucky.
14.
Okay, Moxie, you know this from your reading and Batista and stories, especially from a wealthy family. You have probably even seen one of these. This is a coil shard. It is a piece of a coil stone. And there you guys go. Leave it in the wall.
You come back from.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming back this way.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
We know where one
Well,
is.
if there's one piece, maybe there's the rest.
Yeah.
You guys descend then.
Is the chain just like fixed to the ceiling?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys make your way down. I won't make you all roll if you're going to go. You're all going down together. Take your time if you need it. It's 20 feet down, and as you drop from the ceiling, you can hear again. And on this balcony, the couple of you have been down there a bit longer. You all can see on the wall the painting, the paint saying "Do not stray down the tunnels." Very hastily written. And that is it. You seem to be at a sort of balcony. Off to one side there is a spiral staircase that goes down, made of stone. And there is light streaming in, and off from the balcony is a big open space. What are you guys going to do?
How far can we see into?
Are you going to the edge of the balcony to look over?
Yeah, let's see what we can see.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. So those of you who go to the edge. This is the top floor of what would have been a grand building with multiple floors, and it was entirely made of ethereal green glass, sort of opalescent glass, and that light now filters in from above, from the front, what you think the front of the tower that's melted into the side of this cliff. The dust motes in this massive open space form a solid beam of light. And the many glass floors that would have been here have melted and collapsed into a funnel shape and then reset. The molten glass on the side has darker streaks in places. It's broken with holes, and you can still make out through it where some of the floors would have been, the sort of waviness of the sectioning of each layer. And at the very bottom of that hole, it's completely filled with sand.
Kind of like the top half of an hourglass.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's a good visualization, like that, and then the bottom's the sand on the bottom. Yeah.
How's Drummond doing in all of this?
He's following you guys. He was completely silent. He looks at the message from the wall. He's like, not too friendly.
Cool. Does the only way forward look like the stairs?
Yeah. Are you actually? Those of you who are at the edge, roll a perception check for me, just while you're looking up. I forgot to ask you that.
I feel like we should probably take these weapons too.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up
The bow and arrow.
bow and arrow.
Yeah, it's a basic bow and arrow. No, 20 arrows.
You say there was a crossbow?
No, just the bow
just
and
the
just the
bow.
Eugene's
arrow.
got one.
Does he though?
4 for my perception.
Perception 4.
I'm so
Dirty
bad. at
20.
seeing things.
Dirty 20, nice.
See, we need to be together.
Okay. You can't make out what's in the sand, but it looks like it's littered with things. It's very far away, but you do make out something hanging above it from a very long chain, about 15, 20 feet above the surface of the sand, is a bell. And it seems dented and old, but it hangs there silently. Yeah, that's all you can make out from up here. The sand is very far away. It's quite far down. And you imagine that this big hole here is what you saw on the map as the big circular.
So that was the crater.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of melted through and collapsed in.
Yeah. And you don't think that these molten floors, they don't look accessible. They look like they're just molten and reset. But the areas around them, there do appear to be every sort of newer stone like that's laid up here. And yeah, to your left is a staircase.
How wide is this sort of crater? Is that?
The crater,
Yeah. Sort of.
the base of it, where the sand is about 50 feet in diameter, and it's double that
At the top.
at the top.
So we'd be able to see sort of any entrance to this other corridor that was on the level above. Sort of
That would be,
off in
so
that
if you're
direction.
looking out now at the crater, the
Yeah.
other corridor on the level you were is to the left.
Yeah.
To the left of that circle. So you can see at the very base there's an opening,
Yeah.
and there's a couple of openings at some of the different levels,
Yeah.
but you don't see more than that.
I'll point out the bell and I'll point out the entrance to the corridor that was on the map, and sort of some of the other ones.
Sure.
If we could get the bell with like mage hand or something.
How heavy it is. Mage hand can't have
Is it huge?
It's a big bell. It's the size of a person.
The old bell.
Old bell.
Giant bell.
Downwards.
Giant
Well,
bell.
you could just get the clapper.
Clap on.
yeah.
Clap off. Clapper. But also it's only 30, you've got to be within 30 feet, I think.
Right, throw her. Throw Moxie at
Yee,
it.
Moxie.
It's about 100 feet away from you.
Yeah,
You
okay.
got a bow
Or his
and arrow.
way
You got a
of
bow and
throwing a
arrow,
stone at it.
shoot
Oh yeah, we'll shoot it and make a noise. Moxie, you're in quiet time. You've had bad
You're
ideas.
saying that really quietly, right?
Yeah.
I'll just assume you guys are whispering.
Yeah.
All of this is quiet, yeah. Downwards.
Okay.
Downstairs.
How are you moving?
Quietly.
Stealthily.
Yes.
All right, just checking. Roll
No,
stealth
I'm
check.
deliberately clankering down.
One of us shouts, Leroy!
That'll be me with a 5.
Okay.
I rolled a 4
I
and a
got a
6.
9 again.
Okay, wait. So we got
5.
a 5,
14.
11.
14, 11.
14.
Okay.
9.
Okay.
Also 14.
Okay. That's just about it. Right. Okay.
Drummond!
Oh yeah, shit. I forgot about him.
Oh god.
What?
That one.
Where's my boy gone? And Drummond was also there.
And Ryan was also.
He rolled a 13, so he's all right, ish. So you guys descend the staircase. One thing you notice is that it's scratched It's been carved. There's like big, deep carvings into it, like something's clawed their way down it.
Disturbing.
Then you reach the bottom. It's about, you reach this pathway that's about another 15 feet wide. It's dim light leaks in from large holes in the side of the wall that are sort of at ground level, about 5 foot high, that you assume lead to this atrium that you saw, because that's really the only source of light. So on that side of this pathway, these holes leak in this light, and the pathway snakes around ahead of you.
How long
And
have we
down.
been going at this point, by the way?
You guys have probably been, since you entered, probably like 45 minutes,
Okay, cool.
almost an hour maybe, but 45 minutes.
Happy to keep going?
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay. So the pathway snakes down a fairly steep angle, and after about 50 feet, you come across a dugout pit that slopes down towards the atrium side, and then at the bottom of it there's another hole, another tunnel that leads down into the atrium where the sand is at the bottom.
Do not stray down the tunnel.
No.
Do we have anything? How wide is the pit?
It's about 15 feet wide, and there is a narrow ledge on the opposite side to the atrium. It's about 3-4 inches wide. You might be able to scoot across, but it's a 15 foot
Jump.
wide, and it's 8 feet deep.
Do we have any rope or something?
Wait, well, my rope's gone. My
Oh,
rope
I've
stayed
got
there.
I've got one then. What if I could try to jump across? If
You can
I'm
jump
not-
15 feet.
I'm guessing it's because it's something plus strength.
What is your strength?
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, you can jump 16 feet
Yeah.
with a
I
10-foot
do.
run up.
Yeah, I could hold one end of the rope.
Yeah. That makes
Maya,
sense.
maybe, or someone hold the other end to.
Wait, can you jump the number of feet your strength is?
Plus
Yeah.
10. Your strength modifier, I
Yeah.
think. Oh, wait, no. Your strength score in feet, with a 10-foot run up.
So you can do 17.
So I can jump 17 feet.
Yep.
If you want an extra foot,
But we can
I
hold the
can run and
rope
jump.
between us to. And
I mean, if one of you,
no one weighs much, we can.
Alternatively,
But what I mean is, if I jump over, it gives us an extra foot.
And also, she doesn't have a
There's no check
loud
on it, is there?
armor on.
No check if you can jump. You can jump free will with, as long as you have a 10-foot run up. You can jump your strength score in feet.
Yeah, and also I have light armor.
But he can
Yours-
still do it. So
Yours
it is
might be a
if the
bit loud
15-foot
to jump over.
jump, so you can both make the jump.
alternatively, one of you could one of you can jump across, and then we're not, so long as we're not going down the tunnel, we're just, because it's only 8 foot, I'm like 6'8", so I can boost, and like we can pass people up. So if everyone goes down,
could-
pass them up and pull, then we should be able to get everyone.
We could always take the rope to the side of the corridor, that ledge, and use it to help people.
That's,
across.
yeah,
Use it as a handrail. That was my
Yeah.
thought.
cool.
Okay.
I'll
Is that what
take
you
one
guys are
end
going to
of
do?
I'll give one end of the rope to Maya, and I'll take the other and I'll jump over.
Okay, yeah, you make the jump 10 feet back. You jump. Roll me a stealth check. Assuming you're trying to do it stealthily.
That's why I
It
took
wouldn't
the
matter
last
if I
two.
was. It's a 4.
Oh,
Okay.
oh no.
Just gonna say,
If they come charging at me, I can deal with it.
You did so.
Oh no.
I'm too tired for this shit.
Are we dead?
Okay, he takes the rope,
Oh no!
leaps across, and
Clang,
you
clang,
hit.
clang, clang, clang.
You hit quite hard, and you skid to stop. And you listen for a moment. And you don't hear anything.
I think that's worse.
But for a moment, there was an echo of the noise that you made. faintly.
I'm so
And
scared.
then Ahmaya holds up the rope on one end, you the other,
Yeah.
and you guys moving across, right? So roll everyone who's going across, roll some athletics checks with advantage.
Oh no.
Still on.
Feel like Moxie.
Advantage.
Oh,
Good, because that was a 2.
I'm going in the pit.
That's not too bad actually.
I'm in the pit.
Oh, yay. Thank God, is it not?
I'm in the pit.
I got 4, I'm in the fucking pit.
Okay, that's 4. Anyone? What else did you? Anyone else?
Am I rolling yet?
You will have to roll a jump across. So you're gonna have to jump across, I guess. It depends what you want to do.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll jump.
14.
16.
17.
Okay, you guys make it across.
Do I?
Amaya's the only one left. The Sentinel steps on, and it looks like some of the stone has loosened from everyone walking across. And as you take a step forward, a piece of the rock just shears off and crumbles down into the pit. Roll us a dex save.
Right, which one of these dice is not going to fuck
You
with me?
grab out of the rope.
That one is.
That's the worst one.
Was there that one?
What do you fucking think it was? What do you think it was, Charlie?
So as you grab out the rope,
Right, start making a new character now.
you've fallen further than you expected. It's 8 feet, so you just take 1d4.
Is it 4?
It was 3. As you land nastily on your ankle. Tell you what, Roland. Are you gonna tell you what? Do you want to try and do this quietly or reduce the damage?
Do this quietly.
Okay, roll an acrobatics check.
No way.
It's not, but it's still a 5.
Yeah, you land. You do a spin in the air to try and right yourself, and
Like
you
a
land.
twat.
And you just overshoot ever so slightly, and you land awkwardly on your ankle, and the roll turns into a really harsh movement where bang, your ankle hits the floor, a knee hits the floor.
Is my ankle broken?
It's not, but it's just 3 bludgeoning damage. One sec, where's my dice?
Love you.
Okay. The echoes of that fall are a lot louder.
I take a dagger and I just...
It's an 8-foot pit, so you guys, Amaya, you're the only one on the other side now.
I'll reach down and
Well, can I
Give it a
look
hand
down the
clap.
tunnel? Like, I don't want to go in it. I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm on the far edge of the pit, away from the fucking tunnel. Can I look down it and see if
Yeah.
there's anything interesting?
Sure. It's well lit. As you look down it, you see it slopes down and then it really slopes off like a slide. And you
Happy slide.
super fun happy slide. You can just sort of see the opening from below where it really starts dipping, and you can see the other side of the glass pit. And that's it.
Cool, that's fine. I'm gonna go clamber up the...
yeah, I'll reach down and sort
Sure.
of put a hand try and pull her up.
Okay. Yeah, I won't make you guys roll for that. If there's both of you, you eventually make your way up. Amaya, are you just gonna? How are you
Not
getting
6'8",
across?
That's a
Run
good
down.
I'll lay on hands to heal as well
Aw.
for 3.
Also, I completely lied. I'm not 6'8", because that's how tall fucking Anton is. I'm 5'8".
I'm 6'8".
That's how tall I am.
Yeah. So as Ora grabs you,
I thought that was really
Oh.
tall. I was like, I got my numbers wrong,
I haven't
right?
even caught that. As Ora grabs you arm to arm, you feel a warmth sort of in your arm, and you feel almost the reverse of the snap of like tendon. Sometimes when you really click it, really roll it bad. It heals up nice and good.
I
And,
do like one of the so you kind of do like that handshake
Nice.
situation.
like arm to arm.
Yeah.
Amaya, you make it across, no problem. And you guys carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go back.
Yeah, we're done now. It's fine.
You guys carry on moving.
Oh, I was Drummond. Did Drummond get across
Oh
all
yeah,
right?
actually, he would
Drummond
have.
was also there.
I tell you what, I need to. He would have come across with you guys, but I forgot. So let me just check if he's actually going to be able to jump it.
If he can't jump.
Yeah, he can. Okay.
Clang, 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 clang.
But I will actually make Ahmaya. I forgot to make you roll stealth as well.
Oh, I rolled a natural 20.
Did you?
No.
Nice.
That is a 14.
I just heard an oh dear.
Yeah, Drummond does not do it very
Oh,
stealthily.
buddy.
He lands
Clank squad.
in a bit of a
Clang
skid.
squad.
You guys are still quite high up, and that noise is really echoing. You guys,
Is this the next time on?
you guys carry on. There's no noise other than the echoing from the atrium. Another 50 feet of winding tunnel.
But we weren't supposed
wait.
to go in the tunnel.
Oh,
Sorry, the snaking pathway. Sorry, not the tunnels are sort of off to your right into the
we
atrium.
are deliberately not
Yeah.
going in the
You're
tunnel.
not going in the tunnel.
There were explicit instructions that says do not stray down the tunnels.
That's it. And you've another 50 feet. You find another pit. At the bottom of this one is what looks to be a corpse.
How
Human.
super old? Super skeleton?
You guys looking over it, peering down at this boy.
Post-mortem time.
How far, like, pit size and depth as
Same
well?
as the other one. It's
Okay.
15 feet wide, about 8 feet deep.
Is there a ledge again?
There is.
Same as last time?
Guess so.
Oh, well, we were looking at the corpse.
Yeah, what's
Okay.
After
Those of you looking, roll a perception because it's 8 feet down, so you can investigate.
Nat 20.
Is everyone looking at it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a nat 20,
Okay.
which is 23.
This, as the light hits it, it's hidden partially by its wraps. This is a husk. It's barely humanoid. The roots have completely overwhelmed it. You're not sure if the limbs are bending in these awful ways because of what killed it or because of the gnarl. But you do know that this is not like the others that you fought. It looks completely just devastated by this gnarl, these bone-like roots. Okay, what are you guys going to do?
No, it's not okay.
It's not.
It's not moving?
No, it doesn't appear to be.
I'll jump over at the rope.
Okay, stealth check. What is he doing? He isn't.
That's 11 this time.
Okay.
No!
I wonder how many of these you guys are going to not, like, you're going to get away with. Okay, that was, yeah.
What does that mean?
It was
It
okay.
means we're
Yep.
fine.
That means we're dead. It means we're all dead.
Yep.
Alright, and then what are you doing? You're pulling the
We're
rope
all
up
I
at the
just
same
find the
again,
rope
yeah?
tight to
Shit ourselves.
assist.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure Drummond makes it across this time before me because
Yeah.
I just completely forgot he was even there next to me.
Okay, yeah. As Drummond, you let him go first. I'll give him a little roll. Well, with advantage, right? That's good. Because he needed it. That's better. Okay, he makes it across the ledge with the help of the rope. And are you guys just doing the same as last time, right?
Do these pits look like they're supposed to be there? Like they're...
Yeah, it looks like they've been carved by someone. They look like they were...
Husk defences.
Maybe.
There's only the one corpse in there.
The one in this one, yeah. And what you guys do here, while you're crossing, assuming that you were all crossing, you roll. Those of you crossing on the ledge roll your athletics.
Oh, fucking
16.
finally.
So
15.
it's an advantage.
Yes, it's with advantage, yeah, with the rope.
Same as last time.
Nice. And as you guys are crossing safely, you hear
Oh no.
you hear the sort of barking growls of something, and they're coming from the tunnels to your right, down somewhere in the atrium. It's like,
It's a cat, guys.
Yeah, it's a cat.
So from the tunnels, not from the path that we're on.
yeah, correct.
Fuck. Right.
Like in a big open space, bouncing around and up through the tunnels. So those of you who've just rolled successfully, you've crossed. Ahmaya, you're the only one left on the other side.
I did just roll my stealth check and it's not very good.
Yeah?
It's a 4.
Okay. It's reducing each time, yeah. Okay. I don't know how you got away with it that long. The noises, with her fall, there's an immediate reaction.
Oh, fuck.
You deduce that it's coming from somewhere further down the pathway, and also the tunnels.
How quick are they moving?
Roll an intelligence check, just straight.
I'm just getting the shield out and get ready.
Why am I rolling? I got 7.
It's hard to tell. They sound a way away, but you've also travelled about 100 feet now. The steepness of your travel, you're probably about halfway down the pit that you saw. Everyone roll a perception check for me.
10.
That's definitely
Yeah,
God.
Oh, no.
15. Perception, was that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone
17.
above a 15?
11.
3.
17.
Okay, so only Sentinel sees this. Reacting to the noise, you start looking around, trying to deduce, where are they coming from? What do we do other than just run back? You see to the left-hand side, so the opposite ledge of the tunnels, there is a face that's been carved into the rock, almost like it's been placed on there. It's got horns and it's got a wide open mouth that forms a hole the size of a large fist. You can't see inside. It looks at a place. There's also a short piece of rope on the floor, just next to it on the floor, about 5 feet long, and it looks like it's been ripped from a larger length. And ahead of you guys, that you would have all seen, is an X in the white paint that you saw above. That X has clearly got blood on it, and it's in the pathway, just like an X.
Okay, so don't
on the floor.
go that way. Or do go that way. Fuck. I say, can I reach the face thing?
Yeah, it's about like chest to shoulder level on the wall. And as you
can
guys
spare the dying, right? I put my arm.
Okay.
Yay, it's
nothing
gonna-
happens. You put your hand in. You wait for a moment. You open
Can
it.
I feel anything
You
in
feel the back of this. It's like it's an inlet for something. It's a grip or a foothold of some description, or maybe it held something. It's hard to tell. And as you do that, the noises are getting louder.
Should have taken the coil stone.
Should have taken the coil stone. But we're out of luck now. There was a piece of rope on the floor, 5-foot piece of rope. Does it on the floor by us?
Yeah, right next to the face,
Right next.
like on the floor.
How far down the tunnel can we see?
You can see about 40 feet before it bends off down to the
No
right.
sign of any other hits or anything.
Not from this angle, no. It was 50 feet from the last one, and then before that it was 50 feet to the top.
So we
Right,
move down a little.
we're either running back or we're running forward. There is no in between now. They hear us, they know we're here. We've got to make a decision now.
Just right. Just right.
You can inspect it if you like.
I inspect it.
Roll an investigation check.
What's the investigation? Oh, it's 12.
It's been ripped from a larger length, like I said. You can see it's like it's just fallen and onto the floor in like a coil. And then there's
Look up.
roll a perception check.
I think that's fine. Doesn't it?
Actually, roll a perception. Roll a perception check with advantage.
Yeah, fine.
That you're looking for something in particular.
Okay, well, it's going to be 22.
Okay. You see attached to the ceiling is a similar bolt that you used to fasten the chain from the way you came in. There is a small length of rope that's been ripped, and right next to it, hidden by the shape of the rock, is a ledge.
Right.
It's very difficult to see. It's about 8 foot above the devil-shaped head on the wall.
This qualifies straying into the tunnels.
I don't think so. Can we reach the rope?
No, it's been ripped off quite high up.
Can someone get on someone's shoulders and like tie? I've got a rope to the bit of rope that's been like.
Well, so basically, if you were to have your feet at the same height as the devil's face,
Yeah, can we use
you could leap and grab it because it's 8 feet from the devil's
Yeah.
face. But just to give you a visualization of where the ledge is,
Well, so we can stick our foot in their mouth.
you could.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
use
Yeah,
this
it's a
as
foothold.
Yeah.
Go.
I'm gonna do it.
Up.
Roll either an athletics or a
That will be an
Athletics.
athletics check for me. That's a natural one, so
Oh.
that's a 6.
Okay, so you run up to the wall. You try and wedge your foot in the hole, and you miss. So you just kick off the wall, nothing, and you hit nothing, and you just like end up scrabbling down the wall and landing. And you're like,
Okay, next one. Who's going next? Want me to do?
I'll give someone a boost up.
Yeah.
Who's
Okay.
tallest? You're tall.
I'm pretty tall. I'm
Go, go,
5'8",
go.
so I'll go.
Okay, you guys. So someone or both of you roll. One of you can roll with advantage, or both of you
You
roll.
roll with advantage. I'll give you a
I
boost
can
up.
do acrobatics, right?
Yeah. Okay, you hear them. 17.
No,
nice.
19. Oh, and I
19.
take your rope as well because I don't have any.
So with the help of Ora, you manage to holding onto his like hand and onto his shoulder, you wedge your foot in the hand in the foothold, and then you jump and you leap and you grab onto the very lip of the ledge and you pull yourself up. And as you do so, you hear the first sounds of things landing and leaping and scrabbling on the floor further down, and
Rope's down.
Up, go,
Rope,
go, go.
rope is.
Do you have a
is- Yeah, because I took
Yeah,
yours.
she took mine and tied it up.
Okay, rope goes down. So I need you to do a contested strength check, and your strength needs to beat out. Oh no, that's not going to work. Whoever's coming up, roll either an athletics or an acrobatics check, and then I'll make you roll a strength check in a moment.
13.
Fuck, I shouldn't have gotten up.
Okay, roll a strength check to see if you can hold on.
Can I like help sort of if they're sort of give them a leg up?
So you would have helped them.
Yeah, so that there's less strain on it.
Amaya, for example, was okay, but yeah.
Because I only got an 11. not
Okay.
beefy.
When Amaya takes the weight on the rope, you pull down to a knee and you're like, I'm not gonna be able to do this with heavier people than Amaya. And it's a
Well,
but
by
once
the
the
time
knee is
I'm up,
up.
I can help.
okay. It's you got a 13, you got 11. It's slow going.
Can anyone else jump?
That was my
I'll just
athletics to get
boost
up
Moxie
it.
and
So
I
when
can
I'm at the
boost
top,
Eugene.
if
That's what I mean. But
Yeah.
you getting to the top
Yeah.
is slow going.
Oh right, I see
Yeah,
what you
because
mean.
you rolled quite low and you
Okay.
just made
Well, I'm
the
now
DC.
going to help because I'm strong.
Yeah, so you make it to the top, and the moment you get there, you grab the rope with her, you reinforce it, wrap it around your arms. Next person,
Moxie or Eugene probably.
okay, whoever's going,
I'm
roll
going last.
acrobatics or athletics.
Yeah.
And as you are approaching, you hear the sound of something hitting the floor from a height. And then you hear slipping and sliding and scrabbling, and then
But I rolled a 6.
the sound of something hitting below. You got a 6.
Yeah.
You're struggling to get up this. You're
Did
climbing
you
the
say
rope.
you were helping?
Yeah, I'm just sort of like giving them leg up.
So you roll for an advantage
Okay,
then if
cool.
he's helping.
15.
Nice, you make it up. As you get to the top of the ledge, you two are focusing on the next person who's going up. Who's going up next?
Moxie.
Yeah.
Moxie, roll for me.
Do I get advantage?
If you're being helped,
Skipping me and Aura. Fucked.
And drop.
Thank
Drummond.
God that was advantage.
You,
Oh, and
go, you go
Drummond.
and then.
what's your
Oh shit, and Drummond.
perception? Eugene, your passive perception.
11.
Okay, what are you doing right now?
I can try to help. I don't know if I'm
Fine.
going to be. Is there anywhere to look round?
Yeah, roll a perception check.
This is when we discover this is where they're coming from.
100%.
Me and Freya just stood there and just.
Oh,
they will just
That's
follow.
20 for a
Nice.
Yes!
Okay, you're immediately struck by what you're standing on. It seems like a porch, and ahead of you, right next to you, is a front door. It's been a little bit smashed up from what seems like a heavy impact, and it's open ajar. There's a stained glass window that's been broken in the shape of what you know as the Prophet from the Salnari people's sort of beliefs. And as you're sort of looking at that going, wow, that's an odd thing to see here. You look around, and from this vantage point, you can see further down. And you see at the next pit, the closest pit to you, there are deformed husks, like completely unrecognizable. Their limbs are bending in strange ways, and they're leaping and they're scrabbling to get over this pit. And like,
So as in, are they coming
across.
up that to the porch? Or
They're
are they
coming
going
towards you. So the snaking pathway, in 50 feet, there's another pit.
Yeah.
They're at that pit.
How?
And they are trying to get up, they are trying to jump across it to get to you. And every now and again, you can see one land in the pit, and you hear the faint sound of them sliding and falling into the sand below.
So I just like tap you on the shoulder, like, look over there.
I look and I'm like,
And they're like,
"Oh,
who's next?
It's me. I've got. Is it athletics?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or acrobatics.
Or acrobatics.
Oh, okay. 14.
Yeah.
Acrobatics.
You make it across. You make it up, no problem. Who's left?
Freya and Drummond.
I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be fine. 18.
Yeah, you make it up, no problem. Drummond, he grabs the rope and he hands it to you and he goes, "Get up there."
Oh,
no.
no.
The road from Drummond, isn't it?
He bends down with his hand like this, ready to push you up.
Okay.
Just go.
Go. 16.
You make it
Oh
up.
no, sorry, 18.
You make it up, and as he's clambering up, it's getting a bit cramped up on this ledge now. Eugene, with your eyes on, you see a handful of them trying to make it over. 2 of them leap, 1 of them makes it.
Drummond, go.
They're now like screaming. This one's screaming up towards
I'm
the
reaching
shout
down
to
to pull
hurry.
him as well.
Huh?
I reached down over there to pull him up as well.
Okay, he's gonna have to make the first one on his own. That's a natural 1.
No!
he's climbing up, and you see as he's reaching, he's like trembling, and he does not look healthy at this point. Something you've seen him before. That's how far are they? 50 feet, 30 feet of movement. 20 feet away, a husk. It doesn't even have a skull at this point. Its head has been completely splayed open by roots. There's a few teeth left, and it's just screaming at him. He's going to make another attempt. That's 8. He
If
makes
we're
it.
trying to help him.
Yeah, his feet are off the floor. So roll.
Can I just call to Amaya? Grab my ankles and just lean
She's
like
holding-
We're
She's
not
holding
holding
the
the rope.
rope.
Can't we just
Right.
pull the rope up with
Yeah.
Drummond?
Okay.
It was,
Either one of you roll with advantage
Roll
or
with
both
advantage.
of you. Roll strength checks.
I'll lean
That's
over the edge and
guidance.
try and
Okay.
grab
Oh,
him.
with guidance,
Pull
with
him.
guidance. Oh no, that's you
too
can't
late.
cast guidance. Sorry, I thought it was Will shouting guidance. I'm so stressed.
I forgot I had that. I haven't used it this entire thing.
I guess 18.
18. Okay.
Is that right?
Are you
If I got
casting
it,
guidance?
if I got it.
So you're holding onto. You're pulling up the
I'm
rope.
pulling up the
You're
rope.
pulling up the
I'm
rope.
reaching down
So
trying to pull him as well.
You two start
Sentinel.
heaving it up. He makes it a few more feet.
If you
He-
kill him,
He
I
needs to hold on, and he's going to try and reach out for your hands.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is
so
for him.
fucking
This is for him
stressed.
to hold on with one hand. That's another 6. There's an 8. He reaches out. You need to roll a decent strength check to lean over and grab him. You can roll either athletics or acrobatics.
Oh, hey, you can do it, mate. Are you on the hedge, guys?
Athletics. Go on.
You get advantage.
No, you get
Yeah.
+4.
Oh, +4. Oh, sorry.
Plus
Sorry.
D12.
Gonna need it. Okay. It's not good. 9.
I'm gonna shit.
I set the DC at 10. Okay.
I rolled a 2.
Okay, so the husk makes it this round, runs to the bottom of the rope. It's going to try and grab onto Drummond's feet. That's a 4. That's not going to hit. I will check, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to hit. Oh my god, I'm stressed.
You're stressed.
No, it's running too quickly. It doesn't have any eyes. It has barely got a skull at this point, and it runs straight past, hits onto Drummond's feet, and turns around scrabbling like this. I'm going to give him one more chance. If he
And
rolls
we're
really
still,
good.
but we're
Am I
still
doing check
pulling,
again?
right?
We're still pulling to bring him up.
Yeah, good point. Okay, this is another. You couldn't pull him up all the way. This is going to be if you succeed on this and he doesn't roll so low that he lets go, then he
Natural
makes
20.
it.
So first
He rolls
23.
an 11. Finally,
Another
and as he
seven.
reaches up with his trembling hand, he grabs onto Aura's forearm and you heave him up. And at that point, more husks just swarm over.
Pull up the rope.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, well, 'cause we
obviously
were-
the rope is like
Right,
coming
pulling
up.
the rope up.
Well, we were pulling it up anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're scrabbling around. They're like looking and feeling around for whatever it was that made the noises.
Fuck you, dude.
Did we all... Oh, no, right. First of all, because I'll deal with this later, did we all notice that he was looking unwell?
Those of you that were leaning over, so Aura and you two,
Cool.
you two and Aura noticed. Especially as you were like there with him. He was sweating, like cold sweats. He's pale and he's shaking now. Oh, that was a close one.
Oh, I don't know anymore. Please.
Okay.
Are you feeling alright?
Yeah.
Don't mind me.
I'm just getting on, that's all.
I'll do that in the morning.
This is the front door, right? It's
It does look like it. So
Should we knock?
I feel like it would be a good way to end it.
It's partially open, isn't it?
so the door has been smashed open by something, one big hit, and it broke this stained
gonna knock.
glass. You're gonna knock.
No!
The husks below immediately go,
I was just going to ask if they were still there.
and they're gonna start scrabbling up at this thing.
I'm at the edge of the
They're-
Get
swing
inside,
sword.
just go
Going nuts.
inside.
Just go in, just go in.
Inside, block the door.
Okay, you guys make it in. And
Not
what
very
you,
intelligent.
what you see, when you finally get in and you close the door, it's like you can still hear them. It's not going to protect if they manage to get up, but it's a barrier. And through the door, this appears to be what is like a corridor from a house. The floor has wooden boards. A rug has been weaved from grasses. Above you is a very sort of basic, but a wooden chandelier with candles on it that are out. It's dim, but for the light behind you and ahead, which is a door that's been left ajar.
Sorry, I thought you said a head. Just a head.
No, a door. It looks slightly reinforced. It's been dented and it is open ajar. And there is daylight, orange daylight streaming through. And that is where we'll finish today's session.
No! I would like to keep going.
How can there be daylight?
Intriguing.
We'll find
Well,
out
that's
next
stressful.
time.
Maybe go back after the husks have gone if we don't start knocking the doors.
That was awesome.
I can't believe that. I was just about getting out the goddamn room.
just about.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.